Verse 26. Wipe the tears out of my eyes. Now in the 6th month, the angel Gabriel was sent by God to the city of Galilee, named Nazareth, to a virgin. Important. Virgin. No seed has ever entered her womb. No covenant has been made yet. The hymen has not been broken. It's important. Why did God put, the woman's anatomy works fine with or without the hymen. Why did God put the hymen in there? So a blood covenant could be wrought when it was broken. That's the only reason it's there. It doesn't matter if it's broken or not. The woman still works the same. But it's there specifically for a blood covenant. So verse 27, to a virgin betrothed to a man whose name was Joseph of the house of David. Important prophecy. And the virgin's name was Mary. And having come in, the angel said to her, Rejoice, highly favored one. There is nothing highly favored about being a virgin in a culture that would kill you and disown you if you had premarital sex. How much pain did Mary and Joseph go through to manifest the Son of God? You ain't hiding Mary 9 months pregnant on the road. You ain't going to cover it up that you're not yet married and Mary is pregnant. And people will always think the worst, no matter who you are. And the angel has the audacity to say, Blessed, highly favored one of God. Why? Because God is not earthly minded. He doesn't really care what other people say about us. He only cares about you and Him and your relationship. But you don't know what they've said and how they destroyed my character, Pastor. I can promise you I probably know more about how people have done it to me, and we can sit down and talk about it, and that would be a waste of time because it doesn't matter. Because people run their fat mouths way more than they ever should. They just do it. But the angel shows up and says, I'm going to spit in the face of culture so you can manifest the Son of Light. It doesn't sound too highly favored to me. Does it to you? All right, just putting in a little setting for us all. So he says to Mary, Rejoice, highly favored one, the Lord is with you. Blessed are you among women. How many of you had a girl get pregnant in high school? You were the girl in high school? All right. Okay. How highly favored were you among the women in school? Not trying to be mean. I'm just trying to be honest. So the perspective of the angel delivering the decree and message of God is totally different than what mankind would see. Why don't people understand your passion and your calling that God put in your heart? Because God didn't give it to them. He gave it to you. Stop having conference calls and meetings with groups of people that God didn't give your mission to. He gave it to you. So you need to go to Him. No man can verify you. If God comes and says you're highly favored and blessed, then you say, thank you, Lord, and you don't care about what other people say. And that's hard lessons to learn, I promise you. Most people don't even start to figure it out till 40s and 50s. I'm just being real, because we're steered by our cultural perception and our peers. But it doesn't matter what your parents said about you. You hear me? And it doesn't matter what your teacher said about you. And it doesn't matter what your siblings said about you. It doesn't matter what your spouse or former spouse said about you. It doesn't matter what Pastor so-and-so said about you. It matters what he says about you. Because before you were even formed in your mother's womb, He knew you, He called you, and He didn't expect you to choose Him, just like He said to His disciples in John 15, you didn't choose me, I choose you. So you're marked. So it doesn't matter if Mary's peers look at her as a whore. It doesn't matter if Mary's peers dejected her and rejected her because she's from Nazareth and she's having a baby out of wedlock. Because the angel of God delivered the decree and said, "Blessed are you and highly favored." So the same thing is pointed at us when He calls you to do something and you go through the same birthing pains. And you get looked at weird like Mary was looked at weird every time she grew out a little bit. And you get laughed at whenever you got to waddle around because you can't walk just right because you're birthing something. And you get talked about by those who don't even know what's going on because you had a conversation with God and He said highly favored, and now you're impregnated spiritually with something they can't see, but it's kicking in you.